Hi, this is Kathy Withers from Withers Wool, and today my topic is going to be elastics and elastic yarn, and the hope here is to be brief so that you can enjoy it. All right, so what you see in front of you are a bunch of different types of elastic yarn that I have. They look totally normal, or they look kind of funky, I guess. If you pull it out straight, it looks totally normal. If you knit with it, it will look exactly like a regular yarn, but it has elasticity in it, so when you stretch it and let go, it pops back. So you can get something that stays on your head the way that you want it to be. The headband right here uses exactly one skein of the elastic yarn. So this one here is mohair. They're all different fibers. Some are straight Shetland, some are merino, some are alpaca. And the price varies depending on the quality of the fiber. The nicest ones are going to be $47, and that includes the shipping. So why use elastic yarn? Well, number one, it makes a great headband and it stays on the way it's supposed to. This is a hat that I made using just a regular 2-ply. It's a blend of merino and Shetland, and watch what happens when I stretch it. It stays stretched. It doesn't pop back in very much, even though both of those yarns are fairly elastic. So you end up with a hat that doesn't really fit or stay on. If you like to wear it loose like a beret, it's kind of great. But if you are an active person and you need something that stays on, then you might end up enjoying the elastic yarn. This one right here is a hat. You can use any old hat pattern. I have several hat patterns. This is my stockinette hat pattern. Anyhow, the elastic yarn is at the bottom. It's nice and stretchy, and you can see that it pops all the way back in, and it will continue to do so. They can be washed in hot and warm fiber. I would not agitate it, and I would not put it in your washing machine because then it will fit a baby and not you. This one, I used what was left over from one of the shawls that I made in the blue collection. So I had some of the single left over, and then this one here was one of my coiled yarns. And the nice thing about these kind of things is that they're also reversible, so you get a different look if you turn it inside out. So here, instead of the stockinette, I've got reverse stockinette, so you can get a different look. And if you use a really funky yarn, and when you make it, all of the funky stuff is on the outside, if you go somewhere very conservative, you can turn it inside out. So elastic yarns I tend to find to be very cool. So here is one that I made yesterday, and it is orange, and it goes along with my rainbow corn selection. But I also wanted to say that it is also a nice, very bright color that if you have friends, family, etc., who go hiking at this time of year, well, this happens to be hunting season, and it's a great, vibrant color that will let people know that there's someone else there. Okay, if you go to my witherswool.etsy page and you look at the different fibers, I have categories set up, and I try to use a certain title so that when you go looking for them, you can find them. So all of these yarns that you see displayed here on the table are listed as having elastic yarn. So if you type in the word elastic, all of these yarns will show up. In addition, these little packages here will show up, because if you're a spinner and you know how to core spin, then these are great ways to add elastic. The thing I do advise, and almost everybody advises it, is that when you use it as an elastic cord and you're spinning, you always want to use the darkest color that you can find. I have these listed on Etsy also. It says I have 10 available. I actually have quite a few more. I do hope that people read the details and don't buy 10 of something, because if you want 10 blacks, you're not going to get it. I give you an option of choosing the color that you want, and pretty much I have most colors. I have all of the ones that are featured on the listing itself, but I also have additional ones. So if you're looking for a lighter green or a darker green, you can comment and say that that's what you want. And let's see, I have used it in making shawls. The bottom portion of the shawl can have elastic yarn. For example, this shawl over here has elastic yarn at the bottom. And the cool thing about the elastic yarn is that it causes, you don't see it when you're actually working, but it causes the, I'm sorry with all the ums today, but it gathers in. When you're actually weaving, though, and you have tension on it, it was actually woven at the exact same width as the rest of it. It's just when you pull it off, it pops into place, and it gives you a nice little gathering on either end. So the other end also has it. I've done some shawls that have it on both ends and some shawls that only have it on one. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. I've used it in other shawls to create the idea of puckering inside of it. And I used it around super coils at the same time, and it ended up looking like there was a bouquet of flowers sitting there, which I thought was really fascinating. I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't tried elastic yarns, it's a fun thing to do with fall and winter coming up. Hats are a great, easy project to do, and it's a way to try out. If you're doing a hat and you're just doing the brim, usually half of one of those skeins will make one, so you can actually get 2 hats out of the skein. If you're making a headband, you're going to use the whole thing. This is Withers Wool. You can find my stuff on witherswool.etsy.com, and the finished goods on artweaving.etsy.com. Till next week.